Yo, what is going on? So I'm getting to these videos pretty late, so I'm going to just have to uh, I'm probably gonna have to just start off with my Friday and then go into Monday and just kind of do all the important trades, because I took a fuck ton of trades on Friday, and well, I just don't want to go all over all of them. But here are my fills from Friday, right? So on Twilio, I think TWLO, 118% gain on that thing, and that only took 2 minutes, right? So in at 233, out at 235. So that's 118% in 2 minutes. So that was a sick trade for me. Awesome trade. The overnight Amazon calls and Amazon Netflix that I held, they all went to zero. So picking up that gain first thing in the morning was pretty sick. Entered a trade in Weight Watchers here. It took all day to materialize, and it was only like a 25% gain, so I'm not really going to bother kind of going over any of that. Tesla traded twice, 60% the first time and 50% the second time, which was cool, and then like 10% on Square, and then I think I scratched a Square trade in here. So that's basically all of the trades I took. So I'm just going to kind of go over some of them. So what I have up on the chart here right now is, ignore this, this is Twilio, right? So this is what I made the 118% gain on. So I got into this thing at 233, and I'll kind of show you what I was looking at. So this is Thursday, right, of last week. So this is going to be the Friday here. So what I saw was, at the point I saw, we got a bunch of flow into Twilio. It was into the 133 calls for this Friday, very Friday's expiration, right? So it was 0 days to expiration. I got in around here in this push into 130, 170 when it started confirming these levels, and then I got out when it pushed up to 133 here. It was kind of holding, and so I got out here. We got a continuation later on in the day, but when you have 118% gain right there, first thing in the morning on a Friday, what are you going to do? You're probably going to take it, right? It was pretty sweet. So that was the 118% trade. So again, kind of got in this area here, rode it up into the supply here, and then I left it alone for the rest of the day. Tesla was super interesting, and sorry guys, again, we're going to have to be kind of going backwards on these charts because I just hung out all weekend long and I didn't do any of this. I didn't do any chart work or anything. So here we go. This is the Friday, right? So what did I do with Tesla? I'll tell you what I did. So I saw a bunch of size come through in Tesla on the 230 puts, right? When it was kind of up in this 238, 238.50 area. So what I did was I just kind of piggybacked it, and I got in kind of when this candle opened here and it was looking weak. I went ahead and got in. I think I was in around 236.50 was when I got filled. I got filled for 17 cents a contract, right? So 17 cents a contract for the 230s. And then I was expecting to push down towards this 235. So once we kind of cracked this level and got into 235, I went ahead and covered. And that was 17 cents to 27 cents. So that was a 58% gain. But obviously it continued further. But I got the meat of the move. I got exactly what I was looking for. And so, I took my profits there. Later on in the day, I took it again, this time to the long side. But I was actually looking at the 5-minute chart when this happened. So when I saw all of this consolidation kind of down here, and I saw this one big push and then a hold, I actually got in on this hold here. And I got in at the, the 237.5s, the 237.5 calls for that Friday's expiration there again. And I rode that up to this 236.60 supply, and I got out of that. And that was another 50% trade, right? So that's the thing you have to remember, right? In the afternoons, guys, when you're playing any of these strikes and they're close to the money or in the money or anything like that, like the value of these can really explode, especially if they're out of the money and come into the money. So like coming down here, right, 236, right? So the two options were 235 or 237.5s, right? I knew we were going to get a push probably towards 237, right? And so that's going to mean that these 237.5s, which when the prices at this level aren't really in play, they're going to come back into play, and they'll still have some extrinsic value because there's still time left in the day, right? So and the gamma on these things, right, which is how much it'll change per dollar move, it's drastically higher now because these things are about to expire, right? That's why people don't hold their contracts all the way to expiration. It's a super, super big risk. So when you play this on a Friday, right, like you can get really, really nice gains. Like I said, 118%, 25%, 58%, 50%, 10% on square, which is basically a scratch. Like, dude, there was money to be made, man. There was great money to be made trading both ways, even though on this day everything was kind of trapped in a range, right? We didn't really see much happen after like 11 o'clock. But yeah, so that was everything for this first day. So this was the Friday, right? And then let me pull up my let's see, let me pull up my Mondays, and then that way we can also kind of check out some of those fills. Here we go. Cool. So this is Monday, right? Monday for me was, I took literally 2 trades. I lost money on both of them, and then I took off for the day, right? So I had a killer Friday, right? I was in a really good mood. I really, really wanted to make solid money, but at the same time, you know, when the opportunity isn't there, it's just not there. It came later on in the day, but I wasn't going to sit around when I thought that I was going to have to, you know, try and just go play for pennies when really I'm looking for bigger moves. It looked to me like everything was going to be trapped in a range. I know SPY ended up coming through on Monday, dropping to the downside, but I don't really think it was dramatic enough to, you know, make that big of a difference for me. So, anyway, we'll kind of go into what happened. So BYND, I'm going to go to the hourly because that's what I was looking at this day. Here we go. So BYND here, we had this huge push up, right? And I saw weakness. I didn't even, there wasn't any option flow or anything to back me up on this trade. I just took it. But I saw weakness, and I was expecting that a breakdown of this 163 we'd held once, twice, 3 times. I thought that we were going to get a huge, huge flush down towards like 160, right? But instead, we popped through, and then we held. And then I was watching this thing on the 5-minute here, and when we broke out of the channel, so let me kind of see if I can zoom in here a bit better. So when we broke out of this channel, held the channel, and continued moving up, I stopped out of that. It's just, it was what it was, right? I predicted the wrong way, but thank God I wasn't stubborn, right? Because look what happened for the rest of the day. Thing ripped. So from where I got out, it went up another $7, $8, $9, right? $9 from when I got out. So this is why we don't hold these things if it's super risky, you know what I mean? So that's what happened on the Beyond trade. And then the other one was, what was it here? AMD. Oh, AMD. So that was on some flow. Yeah. So AMD, it kind of dropped off. Let me go back to the hourly. Yeah, so AMD, it pushed up here. There was some flow. I took it in here, following that flow. I think it was like the 35s. And it kind of came all the way back down. And once it was just kind of sitting around here, I went ahead and just took it off for like a couple buck loss. Like, it wasn't a big deal. It was just a little bit more than a scratch loss. But it ended up kind of coming back up and pushing. But I don't think, like there was nothing going on there that day. So the flow deceived me on Monday, but that's just the way it is. It's no big deal. And that's why we get out quickly, right? Like, unless we have some insane confidence in a trade, we're in and out of these things, because when you get out of the money, right? Like these 35s, look how far away these things are, right? So that's why we trade the way we trade, in and out, nail and bail, especially trading options when we have these huge exponential moves. So this is the end of this video. So this was Friday and Monday. And then now I'm going to make a new video for today, which is Tuesday, because I had a pretty, I had the potential to make tremendous money on Roku. I got in a little early, and it I ended up basically making like not even a cup of coffee on it, like even though it came 4 points in my direction, right? So I'm going to kind of explain that today to you. And yeah, man, so that's the end of this. Any questions, as always, comment in the thing below. Hopefully the stream is working. With YouTube, there's been some issues. So anyway, man, that is the end. So I will catch you on the other side. Next video will be based on today's trades, which was basically only Roku. So